So that's what I would need as lawgiver and Lord Protector. So New Yorkers have become like the Singaporeans. Migrant competition in the form of mainlanders from the United States of America and the rest of it. They pervade various parts of the job market. It's felt most acutely by the most recent college graduates and non-completes in the 20 to 25 year of age cohort. And the horde, this migrant horde of Americans, entering our city threatens the immediate prospects of even the shiniest and most elite of our indigenous meritocracy. On top of that, they do not only, the horde does not only jeopardize our indigenous meritocracy, the horde jeopardizes the actual homes and social networks and their connected livelihoods of a poorer class of people, usually of a different race than the newcomers, who live in areas that were once poor, that are becoming less poor. And yes, these people do gain more civic benefits in some sense while they still can linger. Yes, it's true. However, the landscape of where they live has changed forever, and they will soon become a rare species in the vicinity. And that is something we see in Brooklyn and throughout the wider New York City. The lower rungs of the income echelons are being exported to the periphery, so the more suburban housing stock, to any owner-occupied neighborhood that has become majority black, has become a good candidate for attempting to colonize with a poorer and less likely homeowner class of blacks that is not being directly displaced, but is in a cascade of displacement events occurring that is triggered by the first white incursion in our Northwest. This isn't fiction. Talking about fact. So, my friends who are wealthy and my friends who are well educated, I consider myself very well educated. We are natives. When we are natives, our class distinction, our Jew-Gentile distinction, our race distinction becomes subordinate to our native migrant distinction, and the migrant-immigrant distinction is not actually a big one. We welcome the immigrant more than the migrant. The immigrant is not a threat to us. The immigrant is a constituent of our family unit in very many cases. So, the immigrant either occupies a mutually exclusive role in the New Yorker society, or the immigrant is a welcomed competitor who rapidly acculturates to a family of values that we share and then clash over. The migrant who has formed his values in a part of America other than New York, upon entry to New York, will attempt to engage various parts of our society according to his or her worldview. But it's different than the organic existence we lead in our habitats. We can be conservative, liberal, religious, atheist, racist, tolerant, any of those things. What we share in common are values that are either influenced in the 5 boroughs of New York City and the information resources that emanate therefrom, or the wider world beyond the United States of America. Those are our only 2 significant constituent cultural influences other than the mainstream American media. New Yorkers, the most enshrined New Yorkers in our values, You've all seen that 1970s New Yorker cover. There's nothing in this fucking... There's nothing between us and California. And you see Europe in the distance across the Atlantic. You see Africa. You see Asia. You don't see an America in our minds, culturally. We don't care for what anything else is really happening other than wanting to really get them on their politics because they're so backward. Why else did New Yorkers die in Mississippi in 1964? Did we go there for the weather? No. So our values, our cultural values in New York City they're subnational values. They're subnational values the way that Singaporean values are national values. And it's very ironic that an immigrant from a different country finds an easier time assimilating to our values that are diverse and our family of diverse values than our American migrants who enter our city from other parts of the country. It's very interesting. So, in addition to displacing the poor, in addition to displacing the poor locally, displacing the wealthy sort of amorphously and amoebically in the job market throughout the region, we face other challenges as well from the interloper. The interloper is rewriting our culture, and the interloper is rewriting our culture by arriving in New York, creating art to be consumed by us in the wider world. Then when they consume the art, when we consume the art, they latch on to us and they create themselves as a New Yorker and a New York cultural icon. And we welcome that. That because we welcome that, our culture is changing. We used to, our homegrown people like Larry David and, I hate Jay-Z, but Jay-Z, like those, we had homegrown cultural icons. We exported culture to America ever since our immigrants were making the Yiddish Broadway shows. Come on. Now, it's the inverse. Migrants come here, create culture, and brand it New York. I love Rat-a-tat, but I don't know where they were born. Think about it.